Oh, you're here. Okay. So I see it. I see it, Lady Val. Thank you. So let me address refreshed Rosalind. You say your hair is curly, is really dry, and it breaks easily. So that means that you need some type of hydration treatment with added protein. You say, I don't know what products that you're using at all, but if it's dry, it definitely, I don't know if you're using something that's making it coated to where it's not able to get the nutrition that it needs. But if you're dry and it's breaking easily, that means you have highly porous hair and you need some extremely moisturizing products. And like I said, you need the hydration protein treatment for strengthening and moisture. And you should incorporate that treatment once a month. And you should be conditioning definitely under indirect heat every time you shampoo your hair. And if it's curly, I would say every 2 weeks is when you should be shampooing, because if you shampoo too frequently, it can also dry out your hair. But make sure that you're using some type of indirect heat with your conditioning and rinsing with cool water and using moisturizing products. Let me see. What are your suggestions for a dry scalp? So for a dry scalp, I do recommend an oil that I'm releasing on Friday, next Friday. It's called Damage Repair Oil. Currently, I have Raindrops that's good for a dry scalp. And you can exfoliate your scalp as well if you feel like it's a little itchy, just to get the buildup. Because sometimes, I don't know if you've been seen by a professional, Catherine, but sometimes flakes don't necessarily mean dry scalp. It can mean buildup on your scalp. And sometimes it can even mean there's an allergic reaction to a product that you're using or something that's touching your scalp. So flakes and itchy doesn't always mean that the scalp is dry. It could be other things going on. But for a dry scalp, I don't recommend greasing your scalp with grease. I don't believe in grease because of the ingredients. It's kind of heavy and it does cause scalp buildup and it clogs the pores. But if you want to rub something on your scalp, I definitely recommend something like a jojoba oil or avocado oil or sweet almond oil until my product comes out. But that's what I recommend if your scalp is dry. As far as a shampoo, let me see. Because, I mean, My So Fresh and So Clean is formulated to deal with all types of scalp, healthy and dry scalp and dandruff. So that's what I would recommend as far as shampoo. So Fresh and So Clean from Cadence Taylor Beauty. Oh, that is such a good question. I love it. So Lady Val said, is gray hair without porosity? So gray hair is actually low porosity. It's very hard to get moisture into gray hair because after it loses the color, the pigment, it's a layer of the hair structure that's actually gone when the hair turns white. That's why it turns gray. So the ability to moisturize it becomes harder because that's why it becomes really wiry and it becomes just hard to manage. Just some crazy hair. I just always laugh with my customers. I'm like, that gray hair is just crazy. It has a mind of its own, but it definitely is hard to get moisture into it. So it's low porosity. So using penetrating ingredients and oils like the Raindrops is something really good for gray hair. It should soften it up, is what is good for gray hair. That's a great question, Lady Val. What is a good protein treatment? So let me tell you, there is a product that I absolutely love. You can find it, actually, let me put it in the chat. You can find it at Whole Foods. You can find it at some HEBs. In the healthy section of HEB. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it right. I think it's botanicals. Is that it? It's Alba. It's Alba Botanicals. I'll tell you in here. So you can get this and you will absolutely love it. Okay, it's not letting me type there. Let me type over here. Oh, botanicals, coconut. It has the moisture and the protein. And you can just pick that up from the store or from Whole Foods or Sprouts and let that be your conditioner once a month. Go under your dryer with your cap and you will see a major difference in your strength. Yvonne, I'm sorry, I don't know which, I don't want to mispronounce your name. So my apologies. But yes, you can do that and you'll see some strengthening happen in your hair as well as some moisture. You're welcome, Refresh Rosalind. And thank you, Lady Val. She said a raindrop's excellent. Yes, it does all of the above. So let me see, Amelia Young. Sometimes my gray hair looks dull. What can I do? So when you mean by dull, you mean like the color is not vibrant. It's not the silver gray that you want. It may look a little dull, maybe yellowish. There are some rinses for that. Let me see. I don't know the name of it offhand. I'll just have to inbox you and let you know. But I definitely know exactly what you're talking about because my grandmother has called me in the past about, my gray doesn't look white. What can I do? So I'll definitely send you some suggestions to your inbox to let you know what you can do when your gray looks dull. But it's as simple as a shampoo to change that, to make it back shiny and vibrant. The website. Okay. I'm giving you the website, Miss Catherine. Because that thing won't let me type. But that's okay, I can type. Y'all hear me typing hard. Okay, so you're welcome. Which hydrating shampoos do I recommend? I like Inner Sense Organic Beauty, and I'm gonna put this up here. I'm gonna type it in as I'm speaking. I like their hydrating hair bath. Hydrating. And of course, I like mine too, but if you're looking for, mine is cleansing and moisturizing at the same time. But I do know sometimes you want that just hydration, just straight up to where it's not even squeaking when you rinse it off. And like I said, I suggest, and I put it in the chat, Inner Sense Organic Beauty's Hydrating Hair Bath is a really good hydrating shampoo. And it's clean. I like their ingredients. And a little goes a long way. It's a concentrated product as well. Meaning you just need a little bit and then you add a lot of water. You're welcome. I'm looking at my own comments. Any other questions? Who asked me? Oh, Gwen, what shampoo do you use currently? And it's always good when you use a shampoo, it's always good to use the same conditioner after it because majority of product lines are formulated to build on top of each other, and that'll give you the best results for your hair if you use like a whole line of something. Now the styling products, if you don't like that, but definitely for the cleansing and conditioning, I know I formulated my shampoo and conditioner to pair and partner so that you can get a better result. So if you check out the shampoo, definitely check out the conditioner as well. You are welcome. Anybody else? Any other questions? So y'all gonna be letting me know that y'all did your elasticity test on your hair and that your hair is strong. You welcome, Gwen. Or if you need a little bit of help. Any other questions? So Miss Bianca is the second, not winner, but she entered into the drawing for the second week in a row for the free product later on this month, at the end of the month. So congratulations, Bianca, again. And I'm looking to see, like I keep switching back and forth to make sure. Palmer's Natural Fusions Clarifying Shampoo. Okay, so Palmer's Natural Fusions, I've never used it before, but the fact that it says clarifying shampoo, you use a clarifying shampoo, that's more of like a detox. That means you're pulling, when you're clarifying, you're pulling everything off of your hair. And if you are going to do that, which I suggest doing it depending on how heavy the products are that you use, but on average, I would say every 6 weeks you clarify your hair, which is to start over from a clean slate. When you do the clarifying shampoo, you do need to go behind it with the moisturizing shampoo. So I feel like that's why you asked that question, so that you'll have a shampoo to go behind it. And if that's the case, you're on the right track, because you have to put the moisture back into the hair after you clarify the hair, or else it'll be extremely dry. Because clarifying hair, or detoxing, what I call it, is necessary in your hair care regimen to make sure that your hair stays healthy and stays receiving everything that you're putting on it and not building up on top of the strand. So yes, but I've never heard of Palmer's Natural Fusions, and that's not anything. I don't really shop in the store for products because, of course, I am a professional. So I try to use more professional brand lines, and so that's why I've never heard of the Palmer's, but I'm assuming it's the same brand as the cocoa butter Palmer's. I'm assuming that's the same brand. But yeah, but don't use that clarifying every time you shampoo. If you are, don't do that, because it'll definitely dry out your hair. Anybody else? Oh, you are so welcome, Bianca. I hope y'all learned something. Does styling tools damage gray hair more than the other hair? No. No, I would say no. It still maintains the same when it comes to heat. Now, if, like I said before, your gray hair's porosity is different, and it's harder to get moisture into it. But if you're getting moisture into the gray hair and the other hair, it's all gonna end up being the same. So no, it'll be fine. But I will say, because you have relaxed hair, just watch your heat when it comes to flat ironing. Make sure it's not too high, because you do have a chemical. So it's a lot different when you're dealing with a chemical and heat when it comes to damage. You want to make sure that the heat tool is not too hot and that you don't use it too frequently. But yeah, it's the same. But a trick I used to use, because I don't really do a lot of color anymore, but I used to, but especially with relaxed hair, I used to love putting a clear rinse on top of gray hair, because it gives it that shine, it coats it, it just makes it act a little better. So if you ever thought about that, I mean, it's a rinse, but it's just a clear rinse. And a lot of people don't realize what clear rinses are for, but it's for shine. And it coats the hair and makes it shiny, and it just looks a lot different, better, when you put a clear rinse on top of your hair, period. For those of you all that want a little bit of shine. But rinses more so take on relaxed hair. They don't take on natural hair. Not a rinse. Any other questions? Great info. When to use a detox? Yes, Phyllis. Okay, so Lorraine said, any tips for controlling frizz when defining curls? So when you are defining your curls, typically, whenever there's frizz, that lets me know that the hair is lacking some type of moisture, or your environment. Sometimes you just can't control whether it's just so much humidity in the air and your hair begins to frizz. But when it comes to controlling frizz with defining curls, it starts with the product of, like I said, foundation of moisture, and then making sure that there's a lot of water in the hair and that you are actually using enough product to coat the curls and you're using it section by section. Because a lot of times when